Okay, guys, well, welcome to what I hope is another mini Santorini adventure. I'm walking up a rather steep, hot hill, and then when we get up to the main road, plan is to skate to the village of Pyrgos, which is probably my favorite non-beach place on the island. If you enjoyed the Monolithos episode, you know that that is probably my all-time favorite place, but Pyrgos is really lovely, and I think you guys are gonna really dig it. So as soon as we get up to where this road plateaus, I'm gonna start skating basically in that direction. See that hill? Pyrgos and the monastery of Prophet Elias are the highest points on Santorini, and we should be up there in time for sunset. Actually, when I was leaving Mersini Pension, where I'm staying, I just met a young local skater who was walking up the hill out of Cartorados to get to the bus stop. His name was Vasily, and he actually addressed me in Greek, and he's like, "Where are you gonna go skate?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't speak Ellenika or Greek." And we got to talking, and first we were just talking about skateboarding, how there's not really any place to skate on the island. But then we got into this whole other conversation about like the over-tourism topic and the island's infrastructure being overwhelmed. And he said that to live here as like a year-round local, to grow up here, it's actually quite hard. Like, as an example, he was telling me that the municipality recently had a hospital built here, but they can't get enough doctors to come down from the mainland because the pay is not enough, particularly in relation to the high cost of housing here, which is related to the over-tourism boom, and that fact that a lot of foreign buyers are actually looking to get houses that they'll only use like 1 or 2 months, you know, a summer out of a 12-month year. So he just gave me a really interesting local perspective on the island, and that's part of why I love just like, you know, just having a skateboard. It's kind of like a call signal to very real people. And like, this kid wouldn't have come up and talked to me if I hadn't been walking up the hill with my board. And I told him that I was gonna start skating to Pyrgos, and he's like, "Oh, I love that idea." He's like, "You should bomb the hills up there." The kid, he spoke absolutely impeccable English, and it was just a really good conversation. And he honestly gave me, just from like a journalistic perspective, he gave me some really interesting insight, you know, into the island and its politics. And like, we spoke for about 10 minutes until we parted ways. All right, so now you can see the traffic here is hectic. Obviously you can't skate on the sidewalk, so I'm gonna wait for these cars to pass, and then not really that skating here is not that safe, but I'm doing it anyway. Actually, this road is fairly smooth, and it's mostly flat on the way to Pyrgos. But there's no room for error. But this is also part of the fun. And you kind of see the island from like, you know, just with this under my feet, you kind of see the island from somewhat more local perspective than just being on an ATV or a scooter like the average tourist. Because you get more kind of, it's like a more interactive experience riding a skateboard. Interactive, but sketchy as heck. Another thing I need to mention, if any of my viewers are going to attempt this, is that the islanders like to drive really fast for no apparent reason. Like, people in Santorini drive as if we're in Athens and they've just broken out of rush hour traffic. Like, cars will approach you going so fast. From Cartorados, where I'm staying, to Pyrgos is just about 5 kilometers, or just under 3 miles. So with a board, it's not that far, but it is hot. And now we're partially uphill. So did bring plenty of water. I have water on my backpack to try and make sure that I stay hydrated. You can see how hot the caldera is. Look how intense the sun is reflecting off the Aegean. And it's gorgeous at the exact same time. Doing a little island exploring, I just happened on this door frame, which like, it's awesome. It frames the Aegean Sea. Wow. And this is obviously, talking about over tourism, this is obviously, I'm guessing, an unfinished hotel. And you can tell by all the detritus, and the specific tell is actually the rust on the rebar, which means this has probably been sitting here for, who knows, 5 or 10 years. But this doorway is pretty cool though. I dig this. If you're gonna make a trek like this, especially if you're going all uphill to Pyrgos, or pretty much anywhere you go on this island is uphill, especially if you're staying like where I'm staying down in Carterados. You gotta make sure to bring heavy cold beverage game. Okay, getting closer. So Pyrgos is this mountaintop village off in the distance. Definitely broken the back of this little skate slash hike, but still got maybe a little less than a kilometer to go. Right, after a ton of hiking uphill, and finally start skating a bit again. A little bit of a downhill cruise here into town. Road's pretty smooth too. Feels great. Oh, this is fantastic. This makes bringing your board just totally worth it. It's like a little bit of a super mellow slalom. And there aren't too many of the big scary tour buses blowing by either, like down on the main road. So Pyrgos in Greek means tower, and Kalistis means something like beauty or beautiful. So Pyrgos Kalistis is beautiful tower with the word order inversed. Okay, we are officially here in Pyrgos town, and I am just walking up a random stair set that opens up into a courtyard. And all I know about this place is that you just keep ascending and exploring until you eventually get to the Venetian castle at the top. See, one of the great things also about coming to Pyrgos at this time of day, no crowds. Because even if there were tour groups here, they've likely left on buses to Ia for sunset. There are literally, there's no foreigners here. There are no outsiders. Wow. And this place, it's kind of Ia adjacent. I mean, look at this. Look at the architecture on this. Oh man. This place, it's so fantastic to explore. I mean, this is probably what some of Ia was like in the, you know, maybe the early 90s before the mass tourism boom. But I mean, like, look at how well kept these streets are. And you obviously can't tell this from the video, but there's a beautiful smell of burning incense just wafting through these pathways, probably from the Orthodox church above. And it's like, it's pretty simple to explore too, because you just know that you keep going uphill. And as long as you're going up, you're going in the right direction. if you're gonna come to Pyrgos, you gotta be prepared for some legit cardio. There's also really cool acoustics in some of these pathways. Like, literally, look, you guys, look how narrow this is. It's like there's barely elbow room. One of my favorite contrasts in the Cyclades is just these kinds of, like, these flowers just in these pathways. I mean, how freaking idyllic is this? And yeah, this is wildly over touristed Santorini, and there's nobody here, guys. Another thing I like about Pyrgos, it's like, it's got just a dash of sketchiness to it. It's a little rustic. I'm gonna just, for the hell of it, what do you think, guys? I'm gonna just go up these super, super steep stairs. I'm guessing these are likely, ooh, you gotta be careful with your footing. These are likely some Venetian ruins from when the merchants of Venice ruled Santorini, which is why it is called Santorini. That's why the island has two names. It is Thera in Greek and Santorini in Italian. Let's see. This is kind of sketchy. Oh yeah, you guys, I'm definitely atop some ruins here. Now I feel like I gotta get out of here somehow. I don't know if I can get out of here. Okay, so I actually couldn't make it over that little wall because of a cartilage issue with my knee. So now I'm actually trying to, this is definitely not the Santorini you're used to seeing on Instagram. These holes are gnarly. It's like, who knows what this was. Wow, there's like all kinds of catacombs and stuff in whatever this was. Actually, I think on the right path. This tunnel actually looks pretty familiar from memory. Okay, of course, here's the thing: is whether to go right or left. Okay, finally, we are getting to the top of the Castel, the castle. Just look how little this doorway is. It's like a doorway made for a child. Okay, finally. Oh, this feels like victory. We're starting from Pyrgos and doing a bit of skating, but mostly hiking 5 kilometers uphill. Look at this, just look at these views. This is the whole island laid out before you up here. Boy, what's so much fun about Pyrgos is the whole place is like a little maze. And yeah, you'll make some mistakes. You're gonna take some wrong turns if you've never been here before, or even if you've been here, but not for a couple of years. But I mean, just look how cool this place is. You know, wrong turns and all. It is so much fun to explore. And it's just, like I said before, it's the perfect time of day. There's almost nobody here. This is beautiful. You know, one thing that fascinates me about the art and architecture of Greek Orthodoxy is that it's just so different than the Christendom with which I grew up. And I love the difference. I love how Eastern and different it is. From, you know, the cupolas to the icons to just, you know, just the artistry. One thing that I absolutely love about a day trip here to Pyrgos or the tower is that it's like not only you kind of getting out there and seeing a part of Santorini that not many other people visit, and there obviously, as you can see, there are very, very few outsiders here, but it also gives you that kind of feeling of accomplishment, like you've set a goal and you've achieved an objective just by getting up here to the church at the top. It's a very satisfying feeling from like kind of conceiving the idea, like being in your, you know, pension or holiday apartment or what have you, and then you know you're like, oh, I'm gonna get up there, and it's a real push to get up here. But once you do, then you can kind of just like, you sit down, you know, put the skateboard down, and just chill. Like you're like, oh, I've actually done something. And then it is literally and figuratively all downhill from here. And way off in the distance at the higher hill there is the monastery of Prophet Elias. And I've actually been up there a couple of times, but you really need like an ATV or four-wheeler or quad bike, depending on which version of English you're used to speaking, to go up there. I'm not feeling that ambitious. Pyrgos is plenty enough for a day hike, but if you do rent a vehicle, that monastery is awesome up there, and the views up there are amazing. You can see Pyrgos down below, actually, where I am now. And this place is as fun to get out of as it is to try and find. All these cool little twists and turns. Oh, and that sunlight is just perfect. It feels like life here in Pyrgos has changed so much less than much of the rest of the island. Okay guys, that's it for our Pyrgos excursion. I hope you enjoyed it. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.